This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next 2 hours, the insane Daryl Wayne and I will take you on a journey of mindfulness, of spirituality, of looking at ancient remedies to fight the flu, and we'll even take a look at some new clothing that have been designed for people who have trouble, say they have Parkinson's disease. So with Parkinson's, sometimes you can't button a shirt, you can't button your pants. A young woman has created some clothing just for that, and much, much more as Late Night Health takes to the air. Hi, I'm Mark Allen. Glad you are with us today. Thank you, Daryl, for being here.
My pleasure, as always.
We are going to go to the beautiful city of Long Beach, California, and we're going to speak to Daniel Gutierrez. Daniel has an incredible background. He was advisor to the Department of White House personnel for the Obama administration. He is a wonderful speaker. I've had the opportunity of seeing him and hearing him speak several times. He travels to the peaks of Machu Picchu. I've asked him to take me with, and he said, no, I have to get in shape first. And he's even been to the top of the Himalayas. Daniel, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited about being here.
You have a brand new book coming out. In fact, it's out as we speak. And there's a special for people. It's 99 cents, folks, on Amazon. I'm right, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. It's going to go up to its regular price. So be sure to go to Amazon.com and look up Radical Mindfulness. Let's talk about your background. You spent years in the corporate world as a trainer in the HR environment. Tell us about that briefly.
Well, the interesting thing is that my corporate experience spans quite a few years working for a little company you all probably know called Best Buy Electronics. Little bitty company.
Yeah.
And when I started with Best Buy, they only had 50 stores. When I ended with them, they had almost 3,000 stores. So it was an incredible opportunity for me to grow with a big company and watch something that was a mom and pop become a huge conglomerate. But eventually, after being with them for 7 or 8 years, I decided that I'd had enough of that, and I decided that I wanted to be a speaker and a writer, which I don't know where I got that in my brain, that I thought that's what I wanted to do. But I ended up leaving Best Buy after managing $60 million and hundreds of employees over the time that I was with them, and moving into this field of writing and motivation, inspiration, spirituality, which took me down a different road. And that's where I got my experience working with corporate HR, working with my keynote speaking and my workshops. So I was doing events and speaking, keynoting for the Soul Awards in Los Angeles, as well as Harley Davidson. I was a spokesperson for Staples. I was a spokesperson for Wachovia. And so I got a really, really broad range of experience in the corporate world, including up to the time that I actually made a shift in my life, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit, where I was an advisor to the Department of White House personnel for President Obama. I was president of an organization in New York City for C-suite level folks, which is like, the CEO, CFO, CDO type of individuals, and really quite happy with absolutely no reason to do what I did, and that was to walk away from it again and find who and what I truly was. And
what are you?
Today? Standing up.
Thank God. I have to say that I met Daniel several years ago with the Evolutionary Business Council, which we've talked about many times here at Late Night Health. And I listened to Daniel speak. I think it was your first speaking time about 2 years ago in San Diego. You hadn't talked, you hadn't presented for a while, and you were starting to get back into it. Am I correct?
Yeah, I actually hadn't been public in over 6 years. I had decided when I took that left turn in my life and decided that I needed to work with the monks in the Himalayas and the Sanskrit priests in the Himalayas and the Amazon and the Andes. I was just on my journey, and then as you eloquently put it, I agreed to speak at the Evolutionary Business Council event. That was the first time that I had been out in public all those years. It was really amazing, and that was the beginning of my journey back to writing this book that has just come out.
And you've written 4 other books in addition to this one too. Radical Mindfulness. Let's get a little handle on that, and then let's relate it to our well-being, our health.
Well, one of the things, the book is coming out on a date that signifies the 2nd anniversary of my mom's passing. And one of the things I realized, Mark, was that my mother ended up dying of cirrhosis of the liver, but it came from fatty liver. She wasn't a drinker. It came from fatty liver, and I was baffled by that because I couldn't figure out, well, what does that mean? And so I did a lot of research, and I realized that a person's liver can only take so much beating before it begins to create this fatty liver syndrome that could lead to cirrhosis of the liver. So I thought about that, and I thought about my mother, and I thought, wow, this is something that could have been avoided through a better diet. And so the Mexican diet obviously is full of fat and full of sugar and full of carbs. And when you task your body like that for 72 years, it can give out. And in her case, it did. And I realized that there had to be some merit in understanding my weight, and I was overweight at the time. So I made a commitment that I wanted to live longer than my 70s, and so I had to do something about that. And in the book, I talk about being radically mindful. The difference between mindfulness and radical mindfulness is the practice, eating well. And I've lost 45 pounds in the process, and I'm healthy, and I'm feeling good, and life is good. But I think it's really important if we look at our longevity. And I don't know, Mark, that we even think about that until we're in our 40s and 50s. To be honest with you, I don't think young people think about it, and I don't think that I did.
Well, I have to, I say this a lot, that people are fetuses until they're 40, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're just forming. And so, yeah, I would agree with that a lot. Daniel and I were at a retreat about a week and a half ago in San Diego again. And you look great.
Thank you.
You look absolutely great. So have you changed? Do you exercise regularly now?
Well, I do. I do work out. I do the elliptical and some weights. Not a lot, but I do walk my 10,000 plus every day, and I am active. I'm active. As you know, I go to Peru 3 times a year and climb the Andes, so I'm constantly moving, and I feel good, Mark. I mean, there's a big difference in a size 44 waist and a 33 waist.
Oh, my God.
Because that's what I dropped. I mean, it was amazing to I don't have a bit of clothes that fit. I'm still replacing them.
Well, I'm walking.
Fact, I was wearing extra large jacket, and the jacket I wear today is a medium.
Oh, my. Which is my size. Uh-oh. Okay, Mark, you got to get on this diet. Hey, we could call it the Machu Picchu diet.
Yeah, that's it. The Machu Picchu diet. What is it? Get in shape to climb up to 10,000 feet.
Absolutely. My son-in-law did it with his father a couple of years ago. I would like to try that. I really would. It's supposed to be an amazing experience. Our guest is Daniel Gutierrez. He is the author of Radical Mindfulness. I encourage you to go to Amazon.com. You can get it for 99 cents. Okay, you can't really afford not to go. I've taken a look at the book. I just got it yesterday, and it is amazing. It really, really is. In today's society, with everything we have to do. You have kids, I have kids. Even though they're adult kids, you still worry about them. You've got, you have to worry about money. You've got to worry about everything. All this money, all this stress, and that's the thing. Stress is a big killer too.
Yes.
And can radical mindfulness help to ease the stress in one's life?
Absolutely. Now, what I mean by radical mindfulness, and if you look at the tagline on my book, it says profound inner peace in as little as 60 seconds. Now, some people would go, come on, Daniel, 60 seconds? I said, yeah. I even had a friend say, Daniel, 60 seconds, I think that's not true. I said, really? I said, so how long have you been practicing? And this particular person said, about 20 years. I said, great, you should be able to do it in 5 seconds. And they said, what do you mean? I said, if you have a practice and you're using it all day long, then getting into a state of peace and tranquility should take seconds, not minutes. And for the person that does nothing, the person that absolutely doesn't have any idea what meditation is, 60 seconds is something that can change your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, because it basically gives you a minute to give your brain oxygen, which it needs, and also release yourself from that big nasty S word, stress.
Daniel, we're going to take a time out for a few moments, do some business. When we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to give us a tip for that 60 seconds. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Darryl Wayne. Our guest is superstar Daniel Gutierrez, the author of Radical Mindfulness. We return as Late Night Health continues. Don't go away.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. Opening your heart is the only way to allow all the light in. Unconditional love does exist, but it takes trust, something not a lot of people are willing to give. But how can you expect it if you don't provide it too? All hearts are refillable, rechargeable, and renewable. So why worry about being burned? By giving, you have everything to gain. Think of how beautiful your life would be if someone loved you without barriers, gave all of their heart to you without conditions, and wrapped their soul around you like it was your last day on earth. Today, you can be that person for someone else.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.